Well, it's finally happening. The parts are pretty much all here, and now it's time to build the ultimate Ryzen 7950X based PC. Or at least kind of. Starting off with the motherboard, I have gone for the B650E Aorus Master. And apart from it just being a pretty good looking board, there are some reasons for doing so. And that is that it's pretty much as good as you can get for AM5 while still staying within the ATX form factor. Now it's time for the CPU. The Ryzen 9 7950X is AMD's latest flagship, but why am I saying stuff you already know? And honestly, I don't know what to say about it that you don't already know, so I'll just install it without any further delays. Thermal paste wise, well, take your pick. I have an entire drawer of it, which will probably look very weird out of context, so I'll just grab one at random. I feel like going for this thermal Grizzly stuff. I have no idea why, just kind of feel like it, so I'll do probably a bit of a bigger kind of dab in the middle, and there we go. When I put the cooler on, it's going to kind of, look nicer than that. Now, memory-wise, I'm going for 64 gigs of 6000 MHz Corsair Vengeance DDR5 memory. It's pretty much as good as it gets without going too overboard for this platform, so hey, let's do this, shall we? Look at this thing. I mean, I can't believe how much I spent on it. Like, seriously, DDR5 is still extremely overpriced. I don't think there's anything more satisfying than having all of your RAM slots populated. Maybe that's why there was that trend for those, fake RAM sticks that only had RGB. You guys remember that? That was a weird time. I assume they died out because of natural selection, as in the people who bought them are simply no longer with us. Now, I'm about to do something that could be a bit controversial, but I'm actually thinking of taking this entire shroud off. Now, I don't know if it's just me being weird, but I do like my motherboards without all the extra heat sinks and stuff on top of it. It just kind of looks a bit nicer, but also this massive thing where the chipset is, it looks kind of ugly, and so instead of mine, I guess it stays on. But while I'm here, I may as well put in the NVMe's, which means that, yeah, I had to pretty much disembowel my current PC, which felt weird. Oh, it's been a good ride, but today, I need to gut you, PC. Because I'm getting a brand new PC, so everything has to go. Including your precious 1080 Ti. Including the NVMe's as well. That's hot. Ow, ow. And the hard drives as well. Now this is a depressing sight indeed. Oh, and I almost forgot to steal its fans as well. But while I am here, I am going to actually put in the M.2. And look at that. It just uses a simple latch. No screws needed, that is excellent. Now there's also this thing, which is my boot drive, but the issue is that it has this big, pretty awesome heatsink that I can't actually put anywhere. And honestly, I feel so bad for taking off this heatsink, because look how good it is. It's this gorgeous kind of copper look, but like, it doesn't really fit this build, and like, again, I'd rather have the larger heatsink that came with it, so whatever. I'm definitely not getting rid of it. I'm definitely going to reuse it in another build though. Come on, you can come off now, please. Please do. Please set the NVMe inside free. Honestly, how enough do I take this off? And there it is, the SSD inside. You can really tell that they did not intend for you to ever take it out of its enclosure. But like, whatever. We're doing it now, I guess. And would you look at that? 2 PCIe Gen 4 NVMe SSDs that are cooled, well, insanely well. Probably a bit too well for SSDs. I mean, just look at this. This is like the definition of over the top for a NVMe, but like, whatever. I'm not going to complain about it. More cooling is more nice. Now you gotta remember to take off the peel on both sides for the thermal pads for the NVMe's, because otherwise, well, they're not gonna be much use. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And there we go, I think we can now put it in a case. And if you know this channel, you already know which case I've gone for. Ugh, this right here is the Fractal Pop Air. Now I decided to go for the cyan one. And honestly, I spent a solid couple of days actually deciding on the color. Because, well, as you can probably tell, I love me some black, well, pretty much everything. But I wanted to take the opportunity to add a bit more color to my build. So I went with this. If it doesn't look well, I'll probably just spray paint it over or something. And, okay, there it is. It's in. Now we just need to actually screw it in. Now, Fractal included a lot more screws than I would need, which is good because I have a tendency to lose them. Now, at this point, I'll probably start preparing the case a bit more, starting off with the fans. And how on earth do I take off the front filter? Hello? So this case does actually come with 3 fans, but they are case included fans, aka not very good at all. So I'll be replacing them with something much nicer, the Be Quiet Light Wings. They are RGB, they are fast, and they are silent, so they are the perfect combo for this build. So sorry Fractal fans, but you have to go. I assume you're great, but actually no, I don't assume you're great, that's why I'm taking you out. The fans, they're in, and now we can do the cooling so that thermal paste isn't just kind of sitting there all alone with nothing to actually connect to. And for that, we'll be going with the Silentium PC Navis F240 ARGB, which is a 240mm AIO that I recently covered on this channel. Now, before anyone says in the comments, I'll beat you to it. Yes, I know that this isn't ideal for a, whopping 16-core CPU, but there is a good reason for that, and that is that it's just temporary, actually. I am going to actually full custom water cool this PC, but I can't right now for reasons that I'll get into a bit later. But first, I'm going to switch out these fans for something a bit more fancy. Which is kind of a shame, because like I said in my review, it's actually kind of neat that they've pre-ran all the cables on this thing and like cable managed whole fans, but like whatever, I have something much better in mind. Instead, I'm going to go for these. The Be Quiet Silent Wings 4 Pro 120mm. These are insanely fast 3000 RPM fans that are also super quiet, but also optimized for AIOs with the special mounts they come with, so they could not be any better for this use case. Now what's cool about these fans is this switch. We allow it to go between medium, high speed and ultra high speed. Something normal people would just do in the fan curves, but like Be Quiet kind of work on their own rules. Houston, we have a very massive, ginormous problem. Because of that VRM heatsink, I cannot get this fan in there all the way. You can see it's kind of like, yeah, it's not like flush with the rest of the AIO. That is very, very horrendously bad. What am I supposed to do about that? Just have like a single fan? Now that is very bad for a lot of reasons. Not only do I have to, once again, take off the fan to the front and install the AIO there, which also means no front RGB, but it also throws into question how well I'll be able to water cool this. Because I'm going to get a very thin radiator there and some very thin fans to be able to fit everything. So that's going to be a challenge in its own way. Yep, we're entering that part of the building process, the part where nothing goes right and you just kind of want it to be over because it's just pain and agony the whole time. And I just can't wait because I know I'm gonna get some people telling me that the AIO is in some like an optimal position or something or whatever, and like 9 times out of 10 they're gonna post that one Gamers Nexus videos about like AIO placement or whatever. It always happens, because the PC community can be a very predictable bunch. Okay, now let's do like the PSU or like whatever, man, I don't care anymore. But the power supply is actually pretty interesting. It's the Straight Power 11 Platinum from Be Quiet. Yeah, straight power. For straight people only. That's probably not what it means, but like if Be Quiet didn't want people making jokes, they should not have called the product that. Now while I'm at the back of the PC, I'm also going to add this. This is the Be Quiet RGB controller. And you just install it like you would an SSD, which is actually pretty cool. But there is a bit of an issue, which you'll see in a second. And the issue is that when I start connecting up RGB elements over here, as you can see, I can no longer use this other tray for another SSD. But they actually thought of it, because the included hard drive base can hold both a hard drive and an SSD at the same time. That is actually pretty brilliant. And here's the other cool part about these hard drive trays. As you can see right now, with both the trays here, we won't be actually able to put in our optical drive because there's just not enough space. So what you can do is actually take out this hard drive tray and put it over here instead. One way or another, this way, there we go, look, it's in. So not only could you have both an optical drive and the 2 hard drives still, but also if you don't need the included 5¼ bay for anything, you can just buy another one of these hard drive enclosures and just put that here for 3 hard drives. That is some pretty genius case design right there. And I'm saying all of that because I'm hoping that if I praise this case enough, well, Fractal will finally answer my emails. Guys, it gets even worse. I can't even put in a second fan just on its own because the CPU power connector's in the way. Am I missing something? Is this case just defective or poorly designed. Oh, what is going on here anymore? That should not be a thing. Okay, I guess we're going with just a single fan at the top. Whatever, I don't care anymore. This has gone wrong enough already. And finally, the graphics card. This is my trusty Aorus GTX 1080 Ti. Now, back when it was released, it was a beast. And to this day, it's still fairly good. But it is definitely showing its age in 4K games, which is, you know, the resolution I play at. However, the issue is there's simply no replacement for it right now. The RTX 30 series cards are coming back into stock, but the issue is that they are already, well, last gen, because 40 series cards are out. And the problem with 40 series cards is that, well, the 4080 is kind of bad value, and you may as well buy a 4090 at that point. And the issue with the 4090 is that you can't buy it anywhere. So yeah, that is my main issue. And one of the reasons why I won't be water cooling this PC in this video, apart from the fact that, you know, clearly we wouldn't be able to anyway because of whatever's going on at the top. I'm still waiting for an actual graphics card to actually water cool, because I don't want to just temporarily water cool this one when I have to then, you know, redo the entire loop at a later date. And so, here's a brand new PC, which has a fan missing at the top because of the motherboard getting in the way, a singular fractal fan at the back because I didn't get my 120mm Be Quiet fan in the mail yet. Power supply, which doesn't even have the two full 8 pins for the CPU because that also hasn't arrived yet, and an overall look of despair and misery, which I guess makes sense because I've built it. So here's a run from the future, and to add insult to injury, the thing won't even boot. I mean, I don't really know why the CPU debug LED is on, but there's no postcode. But the weird thing is that the CPU gets detected enough for me to be in BIOS and even access Windows Startup Repair, but the second I extra to boot, nope, the CPU's gone apparently. I just give up on everything. So yeah, pretty much everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. And I have no idea what's going on at the top of the case here. I don't know if it's just a defect in my one, or if it's just actually this way and there's literally no space for anything at the top. I highly doubt it because, again, Fractal, they know what they're doing, so I don't think they would have such a huge omission in the case, but well, I don't know. Let me know your opinions down in the comments below. I'm just tired. I want to give up on everything. But if you want to make me feel better about the absolute disaster that this video was, then maybe check out our Patreon, because even a single dollar amount truly goes a long way, while you get awesome perks as well. I'd also like to thank my esteemed patrons, Gavin Burns, Ryan, Oki B, Justin Rage, Ella Vroniak, Bartosz Velka, Meg Sumner, Shane Allcroft, Lansby, and Jesse Herdman. Thank you guys so much, support truly goes a long way. Down you can find our merch store, our Discord server, and our social links as well. But anyway, that's about it, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then remember, subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. I need a nap. And some alcohol.